Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope we're all in the best of our healths today.
You want to be an IT pro, so you must have remote.
You want to be an IT pro, so you must have the remote desktop starter. The remote desktop starter pack you must have. Well, 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 well. What do we have over here? GBP, JPY. Yep, GBP, JPY. Wow, gold is coming down here further. All right. So I was looking at GPJPY here earlier in the morning, and what I saw was basically, prices ranging so far, and basically, so we had this bullish move up. This bullish move up came from the Brexit announcements. If you go to forexfactory.com, let's open up our pre-markets here as well, just to see it for shits and giggles though. Negative numbers on the Dow, negative number on everything here, Nasdaq as well. So basically, if you go to news, there's no news here today. Some yellow folder news, nothing really extraordinary happening here. If you look on here, this is the Boris Johnson will tell the EU that Britain will choose a no-deal Brexit if trade talks stall. This is a rumor. This isn't like he said something, and because of what he said, this is why you had a bullish move up on GPJPY. So when you had a bullish move up like this on GPJPY, based on what he said, that means no decision has been taken. So normally when no decision has been taken based on Brexit announcements or interest rates, those moves they get corrected, more often than not. So what I'm looking at over here is I'm looking to see right now that we are just ranging. This is a very, very deadly range, right? So if we're ranging on a 30-minute time frame, the 30-minute candle just closed bearish. I believe that if we break below 134,400 right over here, we're going to continue moving down towards, at least 134,200 or 134, 150 and whatnot. We're going to break below this area, especially when this 30-minute candle, is closing bearish here. So it's increasing the momentum for price to break below this area and correct this move up. So that's what I'm looking for. But if we break above, let's say 134,650, then obviously we're going to try to move up. So this is the range we are in right now. So if we break above here, there's a very high chance we may come up towards 135, 200, 135, 250, 300, which is around, it's a 50 pip range here. And there's around like a 20, 30, 40 pip range coming down. So right now we're in this 20 pip range that we're waiting for price to break out of. That's what we have right now so far. Let's look at US 30 over here. US 30 is still bullish in the small time frames, but on the 4-hour looks like it did continue down towards 25,000. It dropped from 27,000, man, crazy. If it starts forming like a resistance, then there's a very high chance we're going to continue moving down, and that would have a really nice confluence with the pre-market share being really, really negative. These are really, really, really negative. Yeah, this is GPJPY on the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, so if it breaks below 134 400, I'd say I'll look for sells here on GPJPY. So this is ranging territory. Oh, we got Vince in the house too. See, it's respecting the high of the previous 30-minute candle, and yeah, I would say it sells below at like 134, 400 would be pretty good with the stops. I'd say like yeah, it'll be pretty good. We should correct this move up because there was nothing concrete, no concrete decision was taken. So I believe this move is gonna get corrected. We've seen this happen like a lot of times, We've seen this happen a lot of times in 2019, 2018, when there were rumors about Theresa May. Every time they talk about Brexit, it'll be just like a rumor, and that whole thing would get corrected. See, now it's breaking the low of the previous 30-minute candle. It's breaking the low in the first 3 minutes of this 30-minute candle. So this should make sense for it to continue down towards 134, 400, and then eventually further down. All right, what's this chart? Gold 30 minutes, sell entry to fill previous wick candle. Yeah, looks good. I still think this is a little risky. Oh, actually you made it work. Yeah, I mean, you have a support right down over here. You have a support right down over here. I mean, the only problem I have with this is like gold is going lower. So ideally, you would want to see price create like a resistance, like come up, create resistance, and then come down to retest the low. Because from this point here, we don't know whether it's going to bounce from this wick here to the left or not. We don't know that. Look, the 1 hour candles came over here and they bounced here before on the 10th of June. So it's likely that they will bounce here again. He's already in a sell. No, I'm not in a sell. I'm in no trades right now. Gonna have to wait and see what happens. Yeah, it looks like the market started crying there. They were like, "Whoops." Yeah, still waiting here. Ooh, gold is dropping further down. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. I think with this gold sell, you can bring your stop down as well. You can bring the stop down towards the high of the previous 30-minute candle. That'll be pretty good. What's this? Price in range. I will wait for breakout structure. What's this over here? It's a map of an island or something? Sell zone, 90 pips. Your USD 30-minute chart. Yeah, looks good. So you're looking for sells below this area, buys above this area. Looks pretty logical. Buys above 134.768. 768. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking for buys above I mean, I'm gonna be looking for buys above, like 134, 630. When price starts breaking the highs of these 1 hour candles here, then I'm gonna be looking for buys. So let's see what happens. All right, let's take a look at this chart here. This is range, city, no trade zone, support farm, London open, broke resistance, buy stop here with clean traffic. Okay, makes sense. Sell below this area. Sell below this area. I think you could have a sell below 134, 400 as well. I think it's going to be pretty good. I also think US 30, since we broke below 25, 100, it should continue down to retest the low at 24,650. I think that would be a pretty logical idea here. I mean, I've seen these moves happen on like normal pairs like GJ and like Euro JPY. So I think this should be pretty good. How much is this? It's like 300 points. Yeah, it's a little too big. Maybe like 100 points, something like that. Pretty good. Do you mean by breaking 134 400 on GJ only breaking or breaking and closing? So I would not just want to be sure what you mean. It, it depends what happens, like if we cross below 134 400, and if if I can enter an impulse entry and my stop is going to be like around 10 12 13 pips, I'll take that entry. But if the stop is going to be bigger, then I might wait for a candle to close, and I might see if a candle is going to close like with the wick for me to enter and stuff like that. So it's like kind of waiting right now. I started trading last week. I found 100% win strategy. Oh, perfect. It's beautiful. It's like you're finding the treasure. Can you evaluate on how buys could have been caught on GJ and London such according to price action? Yeah, I can try. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. 4 hour wicked all the way down. 1 hour candle was kind of like this. Looking left. Looking left, there was some sort of a resistance here previously, which made sense to make support. Looking at the 30-minute chart, looking left, there was resistance here, which made sense for GBP/JPY 30-minute to create a support over here. Since the trend was bearish, you would be looking for a price to come up to retest to continue down, right? But once price broke this support, which was formed in the Asian session, once we broke below 134, now 134 is a very strong psychological level, right? If once we broke below 134 and price came down and created support, I think buys could have been caught with the anticipation that, okay, now price will continue up to retest 134, which was in a 35 pip range. Since it was in a 35 pip range, I think you could have caught some buys based on that, especially when the 30-minute candle was closing bullish over here. So your stop could have been like, 18, 20 pips, bigger stop loss. And then you had a 30 pip range. Yeah. If you had a stops at break even, then price, started to continue moving up and you would have been even more profit. So I think that would have been a good move just before the London Open. Hope that makes sense. How do you know which levels are more psychological? Yeah, I mean, it's I look at the even numbers, like 134, 135, 136, it's 134, 500, like every like 500 increments. I look at those and I just keep it in the back of my mind, like these are strong psychological levels. I just keep them in the back of my mind. I don't put a lot of stress on them. It's just like if we broke below 134, I'm like, oh, okay, strong level broke below 134. If it happens to be a support, then okay, perfect. There are some people who look at, let's say, every 200 increments, like they will look at that. Like 134, 600, they'll say, oh, strong level, 134, 800, then 135, then 135, 200, 400, so they go into that detail as well. I don't go into that detail. Someone's saying it's a quarter theory. I have no idea what the name of that theory is. What I'm waiting for right now is for price to see if we break below 134, 400 for me to take a sell and make money. That's it. You know, if we break above 134, let's say 600, 650, I'm going to take a buy and that would be it. But yeah, there are a lot of like names you can study on the internet and stuff like that. But I don't pay attention. I don't pay like a lot of attention to those things. What time frame do you prefer to use EMAs? I don't use EMAs. So see, GJ is still ranging here. 30-minute candle, previous one closed bearish, but it closed within the range. So you see it's trying to push up. We got 16 minutes left for this candle to close. So yeah, just waiting here today on a Monday. Love me some Monday today. Welcome to Monday. Look at this stop loss in this zone or above previous. Looking for sells below this area, potential TP area with partial profits taken mid trade. Yeah, looks good. Looking for buys here. Goat shit, your JPY. Ooh, your JPY is also ranging here. Price to break above or break below for sells. Looks good. Looks good. Far just waiting here. It's awesome, When price is ranging, you just wait. You just sit back, you just relax, you just wait. This is the beauty about price action. You're not stressing about being in trades. I mean, if you're looking at 6 pairs, I mean, if you have, all those pairs mapped up, and if you have some pairs open like this, then you're looking at all these pairs, and then you're like stressing out. You're flicking between charts to see which pair makes sense for you to take a trade, and it's just madness. It's by looking at your JPY here as well. We're creating some sort of a resistance here in your JPY. We have a support form down over here, and we're just arranging on here as well. Hey, there's a strong support around 134.266. Okay, would you wait for a break and rejection underneath on GJ? Actually, if you break below 134.400, 430, then I'm going to be looking for sells down to 134, maybe like, yeah, like around this area. Not even like 266, but like down to this candle, like around 134, 22, 220, 200. Yeah, so I'm specifically looking for sells below this area here and buys above this area here. Nothing else. EU leaders high level call scheduled for, ooh, yeah, probably. Probably. Maybe that's why it's ranging. You created the mess, so it's only right to get sorted about to stop running away like you did on your previous positions. Yeah, maybe that's why it's ranging. Maybe it's going to be a very difficult to trade the GBP pairs because of the impending Brexit announcements here coming soon. So it's going to get pretty risky, so you'll have to be very careful. Someone just sold GJ. Oh. But I do think it should be corrected. Waiting for, yeah, everyone's looking at the same things here on GBJPY. It's pretty scary, because when you're looking at these same things, we have some people in the institutions watching the stream right now, and they're probably looking at that. They're like, These guys are looking for the same things. Let's see what we can do to throw them off the train. Yeah, I'm just waiting here. Waiting is important. How's your US30 account going? I stopped it. I stopped trading that US30 account. I figured that US30 isn't the pair for me to trade, so I stopped trading US30. I lost more trades than I won in US30, so it's very difficult to trade. So I'm going to stick to this. Are you streaming with a delay? Yes, there's always a delay when you stream. On YouTube, you always get a delay. On Monday, you reduce risk. Yeah, sure. Like I'm really reducing my risk here now for the rest of the month. I think I've already done enough, so I might just gonna reduce risk. Like I decided not to trade for the rest of the month, but I'm just gonna reduce the risk and just keep on going at it. See, now we're breaking below the 30-minute low over here. This candle is about to close. 15-minute candle is also breaking below, but we have this support in the way around 134, 430. So we'll need to break below the support for price to continue moving down. I think you can also anticipate for price to continue breaking below 134, 430. Like if you're getting a little antsy to take sells, you just have to understand where your stop is going to be. Because if you think price is going to break this support and correct this move up from earlier, I think your stops are going to be at like 134, 580, which is like 12 pips, 10, 12, 13 pips. Where'd you get that support? Well, I opened my eyes and I looked at these candles creating support. So I was like, maybe this is support, right? Makes sense. Perfect. We're breaking below over here. I think we should continue breaking below down to once price is 134, 418. I think my sells are gonna get activated. Just needs to come down a little bit more. And all right, cells got activated over here. I got my cells activated here. I had a sell stop around 134, 400, and the spread activated my cells. So since my cells got activated, I'm anticipating price to continue moving bearish here with this candle closing in 8 minutes. I wasn't really expecting it to activate it before the hour close. I was expecting it to get activated, when the new hour started. So this is a very bad position where the cells got activated. Should have been a little better, but this is an extremely bad position where cells got activated because essentially they got activated at the very bottom. So since I had a sell stop, I'm anticipating price to continue moving bearish, right? Because that's why I place sell stops. But if it starts coming up, then I might be forced to close 50% of my position or maybe close everything and reevaluate later on. So yeah, I have a buy at 134.471. Oh, interesting. Someone has a buy somewhere over here, 134.471. All right. That could make sense. 1 hour time frame would support the idea broke the low of the previous 1 hour. And yeah, I mean, that looks good. Like right now, we're moving right now, so that's pretty good. So as the candle starts moving down below, I'm gonna look to secure around like 10 pips here and let like a run and run. It's gonna be pretty good. Is there any trade open? Wow, man. People still ask these questions. Is there any trade open? Jeez. All right. So we're coming down, um, securing 10 pips right over here. Secured 10 pips. Yeah. Let's look at US 30. US 30 is still here. Gold is bouncing off that support, which we saw earlier.
No.
Hello there. How are you? Pretty good, pretty good. All right, what's this? Ooh, very nice. Someone had better cells. Beautiful. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, so for our fans for the US 30, I expect there could be a little bit of a pullback next hour, and I would look probably to take entries with the 8 a.m. hour or around 7:30, 7:45. So in the next 45 minutes, I'd look to take positions. Also around the New York stock market open, which is at 9:30. So just be aware because I think everybody sees, like you were saying, Raja, everybody sees the exact same thing right now.
Hmm.
So it's going to really whip us around a bit with
Yeah.
US 30 because US 30 obviously works a lot differently than, say, GJ as it's moving right now.
Yeah. So at this point, I closed everything on GBPJPY because I think it's reached that area where it might kind of like reject from here. So I secured everything here at GBPJPY. Um, so yeah, if you guys took this trade and had a profitable trade first thing in the morning, just give a like on the stream because you know we played it really, really well here.
And the stream is over.
Yeah, take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Stress-free trading today.
That was actually a good trade.
Actually, I had a sell stop and I was kind of like, shit. It's got activated at the bottom.
Well, the thing is, like, if you notice with GJ, the last few minutes, you really get a hard push in those situations. That's the key. Like, if you don't exit right now, you'll find like 7 a.m. may pull up a bit and then continue to drop. But a lot of times, if you can get out before the hour close, I mean, you have you get a really good trade with GJ if you get out before the hour close.
Yeah. So wait, what? Like we're expecting US 30 to drop further down to the support.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll probably go below that, to be honest, the way that it's moving right now. My only fear, and this is something to keep in mind when you're trading US 30, is when the market actually drops like this on an indice, what that does, that creates buying opportunities. So people that are trading US 30 or any indice, be very careful. Even though a lot of the reporting right now is negative information about the indice, what could happen is we could reach a range where US 30 becomes a buy opportunity, even though the markets are negative. So don't get stuck in that idea. And what I mean by that is at a certain price, because the US 30 is made up of the largest capitalized companies on the Dow Jones, on the New York Stock Exchange, people are always looking to make buys at better prices. So right now the market's dropping. That's giving institutions opportunities for buys at better prices. So if everyone catches on to that, like as the market starts to drop more, then institutions will take over and it'll push the market back the other way. So be very cautious when you are taking sells with US 30 that you don't go overboard. Like really manage the risk, even more so than when you're trading currencies, just because of that fact that the indice is relative to FX is so much smaller. So there could be a rush of buyers that come in, and that drives US 30 the opposite way, even for for a half an hour, and that can blow you out of the water. So just be very cautious of that, and just make sure that you are watching how you're entering with US 30, really watching 5-minute entries, even 15-minute entries, things of that nature. Don't get yourself too stuck in a trade, because once again, if we go too deep, there's always going to be a big pullback, because the market right now obviously is in a negative territory, but that presents opportunity for other people.
Wow, man, GJ still falling here. This was, I guess we were right that this move up from the London would get corrected because of the Brexit. That was a Brexit announcement.
Yeah, I think US 30 is probably going to tank a lot too, right down to that support, I think, in the next hour. So
Wow.
I think what if anyone's trading US 30, what we'll wait for is something that happens around here, and then to drive. And then you're going to this area here first, and then eventually to here. You should be able to get there. So we'd look for something like this or like this over here. That's what you're looking for. So be patient. I mean, I think sell stops over here are good, because we should be able to drive through that. I just wouldn't want to take market orders at this point yet. Is there another entry for GJ?
Hmm.
Similar. That's the problem. See, the new 1 hour candle starts and that drives up. So I think sell stops below here, fill this, and then eventually fill here.
Yeah, that could be pretty aggressive. You might see a pullback, create like resistance, and then continue down.
Yeah, I think safe entries are below here, to be honest. With this candle creating a wick. The bigger the wick this candle creates, the more probability we have a chance of breaking down to this level here. So that's what you're waiting for. But you can see the importance of closing your trade before the hour end.
Well, my day is done. Took my front trade for the day, and we're good to go. How do you determine between when it's a good wait for candle to close and when do you sell buy stops like you did there? It just based on experience. I mean, we've seen GJ just break without doing any retests. So it's just a time spent watching this pair that you kind of like get that intuitiveness to just enter or wait. Does the other person talking stream as well? Yes. The stream is right here.
I always find it funny when people ask me if I stream. It's like, why would I do that if you invite me over here to talk? Like, it defeats the purpose.
Say, what's your YouTube channel there, bud?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm streaming in the next 5 minutes, so you guys can just jump from channel to channel. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
It's like when you have like different news agencies, like 6 p.m. news. It's like three different news broadcasts. It's like, okay, well, which one do you want to go to? It's like they all reporting the same thing. How many losers in a row, max, have you ever had? And how did you manage the psychology around that? Be able to get a drawdown. Um, I don't think you should look at trades as a grouping. I think you should look at them as an individual entity. I think if a lot of people talk about that book, Trading in the Zone, and it talks about taking each trade as an individual opportunity, I think you should be doing that. The reason why you have psychology issues when it comes to trading is because of the fear of losing money, and that's money you can't afford to lose. So I think once you get over that little hump there, you should be a little bit. It should be a little bit easier in terms of trading. I think a lot of people are too new to trading and they're expecting too much too soon. Um, so I think as a trader, you should really give yourself at least a year. If you've had no experience gambling, no experience in finance, no experience in losing money, and you don't have a lot of money, you should really give yourself a full year or so to get comfortable in the markets, just trading very, very small, um, lots, small contracts, and then start to gradually increase. People that are in their 20s probably have not been exposed to any sort of risk management, so that's very important as well. So you're running into a lot of barriers when you're trying to trade, and I think a lot of people have to understand that you're dealing in the hardest market in the world. And if you're 21, 22, even up to the age of 30, and you don't have experience in finance, you don't have a finance background, you don't have experience in risk management, you don't have experience in any sort of gambling where the outcome is unknown, you're going to have a very difficult time dealing with trading. Anyone can mark up charts, anybody can tell you that the price is going here, but are you able to execute on those markups? Are you able to hold on those markups? If you look at Raja when he trades, it's very straightforward, very fluid. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. This is my risk management, and whatever happens, happens. Because he's come to the realization that he does not control the market, and all he can do is mitigate his risks associated with the outcome in the market. So once you get to that point, you'll feel more comfortable. Now, how do you get to that level? There's a combination of education, a combination of experience, and then the rest is confidence in your ability to say, hey, I've seen this happen 100 times over the last year. Chances are it's going to happen again. Today is not the day that the market's decided to put a webcam on my face when I'm opening my trades on my phone or my desktop or laptop and sees me nervous. That doesn't happen in the market. The market doesn't have a webcam in your bedroom or wherever you're trading watching you to see, hey, how confident is he today or how nervous is he today? That doesn't exist. I know you think it does, but it doesn't. But that's one of the things that you're going to get used to over the next few years of trading, that your outcome is not defined really by the market, because the market could care less about you. And the quicker that you're able to figure that out, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah, I think this is a strong enough level here, 134, 200. We'll see. See, ideally we broke below 134, 400, which was a support, came down. If we bounce from here, then there's a chance we may create like a minor resistance and continue down to retest this low. You said the bigger the wick, the deeper will fall. Does a long wick should be at the top or bottom of the body and should be green, or I don't know. I don't remember saying that at all. Bigger the wick, the bigger the fall. I don't know.
Oh yeah, well this obviously has to be red. I mean, this is a wick, and this was the fall, right? There is no wick here, so there is no fall. Ah, signal providing 101.
My first ever chart, Mr. Raja. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. GJ, 4 hour, buy a 4 hour candle. Yeah, I think this chart is way too old right now. Sell if, yeah, it makes sense. But price is at 134, 330 right now. Sergio Gago Riboredo donated £2. Thank you, thank you. £2 goes in my piggy bank. Can someone tell me why GJ and US30 moved together during NY and pre-London?
I
I
don't think
honestly,
it's yeah, I
yeah,
don't think there's not a correlation. It's just the way that the pair is grouped, right? You have the US dollar versus the Dow Jones. If the Jones is dropping, the US dollar gets stronger. If the pound drops, the yen gets stronger. I don't know. There's not really anything correlated with that, to be honest.
yeah, I think it's just coincidence that that happens at times. I know you said you're probably done, but if GJ presents a textbook pullback and form resistance, is that something you would just watch or possibly reduce the risk? No, I'm just going to watch that. I mean, if price is coming up, it's coming up towards 134, 400 again. If it forms like a resistance here, then it should continue down to retest till low. But I'm not taking any more trades because it's a Monday. I already took my one trade. I'm good for the day. But if the candle starts closing above 134, 400, then this move down becomes a fake out.
Rip to all the people that got in a sell at candle close. Yep. It's the importance of timing in the market.
If it closed back in the range, would you consider a buy? No, because I'm already done for the day. But if it closes back in the range, then you have this range. This is a 20 pip range, right? I think it'll be better to wait for price to break above 134, let's say like 630, 640, for price to continue moving up. I think that's going to be a better idea.
Hey guys, thank you very much for today.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Yasser here.
that's it?
Yeah, that's it. I'll tell you what happened. I I increased my lot size again, and previously when I'd done it, that's the one that always cocks up. So I've got unlucky today. I'm like, okay, I've got my larger lot size. I've done it, and now I'm off home now.
Nice.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Rakeel.
Take care. Hey, I had the same trade as you, but I got triggered in from the candlestick pattern. Let's take a look at this pattern. IB bar, IB bar printed price range inside previous impulse breakout entries. Okay. Entry as price break previous consolidation ranges below. Oh, okay. Makes sense. So you entered based on the fact when the candles start breaking the lows of the previous candles. That's pretty smart. That's pretty good. Kind of like the same idea. Are you going to do some more offline seminars after Corona? Yes. Yes, the London Bootcamp is still on the go. Basically, just waiting for the restrictions to relax here a little bit. Because for all I know right now is that if you go to the UK, you'll have to quarantine yourself for 14 days. But there are some reservations based on that, so I'm just gonna try to like really see what those reservations are. Like, what would make me do the 14-day quarantine? Because I definitely don't want to stay there for 2 weeks. So yeah. We're looking at possibly late July, early August to get that done.
I wouldn't be surprised here with this candle here that the next candle pops up and then starts to drive down and then continues to go that way. I wouldn't be surprised. We've seen this a lot of times at 7 a.m.
Yeah. Like start continuation with the New York Open.
Yeah, the next 30-minute candle starts to break and then it starts to drop. Like even US 30 pulled all the way up, but now the futures market is now like 600 points in the red. So it moved another 100 points into the red and US 30 moved up a bit. So I'm pretty sure that all these things are starting to move probably in the next half hour.
Ooh, wow, someone made 20%. Big boys. Man, once you guys get the 4K monitor, it's honestly, it's just so different. Ted, you gotta get one. Like I know you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, no, no, no," but like once you see the difference, you're just like, "Wow."
Okay, I'll go buy one today.
It, it's like when you go drive the that Tesla 90D and like the
Yeah,
100. Like, you know, it doesn't seem like a big difference from 90 to 100, but once you drive, you're like, "Oh yeah, 100 is way better."
okay, I'm gonna get one today then. I'm gonna go to Best Buy and pick one up.
Yeah.
You've convinced me.
It's just everything is so. I don't even want to go back to the older monitors. I'll tell you this right now. It just
It's
seems.
interesting because when you know, like on cable and stuff like that, when when we have cable, um, that's interesting too that we have that kind of quality. So it's I guess it's better with a computer because there's really no 4K upgrade on your cable box.
Yeah, no. It's like when you move from a TV antenna to a cable.
Ah, okay.
You know, cable. You're like, "Wow, this is so clear. No distortion."
All right. I'm gonna look at that.
Looks like US 30 should continue its trajectory here.
Yeah, I think you're right with US 30. I'm looking for entries just below um, the 5 minutes. There's 5 minute candles that have created somewhat of like a little bit of a support. So once this 5 minute candles break, I think on the 5 minute time frame, if you're watching, we should be good down to 635 with US 30. So it's going to be a rocky road. So manage your risk. So my lot sizes are a lot smaller on US 30 just because of that. And I'm also taking profits a lot quicker because of the fact that, you know, the way that it moves, like each point is essentially, you know, 10 times your lot size, right? So if you're trading like a dollar lot, if it moves 1 point, that's basically $10. So keep that in mind as you're trading it. So this once we break below this, we should drop probably over to here. We had rejection over here, so that gives us sort of the liquidity that we need potentially to move through here. But what you may find is this candle here makes the upper wick as well and then starts to drive down. So just be aware of that. Your stops would probably have to be above here and then be playing in that whole range to drop through. So keep that in mind. So you'll have a wider stop and then it will continue down. Why don't you take smaller lots instead? Yes, I do. Months ago, you mentioned some of the banks you talk to frequently say, why don't You do the stream. Most traders don't use sufficient trading terminals. Well, no, what I said was the terminal that you use on a retail level isn't the best software you could use. There's probably something more important, um, or better if it was built, but it's not. Like I think C Trader is better than MetaTrader in terms of reliability, but it's not as popular with people because MetaTrader is marketed more. Not a consistent trader yet. So then you can't define how much you can make a month because it will vary from person to person. So really make sure that you understand what you do per month consistently and then take that average and then you'll figure out what you can do.
What does it mean when VantageFX emails me saying they slashed their indices prices? I'm not too sure. I don't trade indices. What would that mean? The slash prices.
It means that they're probably adjusting the spreads and the margin.
Okay, okay.
Because more people are trading it and the liquidity provider is getting hammered.
So they're probably looking
to make it more expensive for you to trade or more difficult for you to trade.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So Traders Domain will probably be following suit too. We'll get a note from our LP and we'll just pass it on.
Okay, so it's like based on demand, they can increase the spreads or increase margin requirements.
Yeah, they don't want you to win.
Did you close your trade, Raja? Yes, obviously. Yes. All right, let's take a look at this chart. Your JPY buys above this resistance, sells below this support, 123.35. Yeah, it makes sense. I would say below 125.50 would even make sense because then you have I don't think it's enough range here. It's another consolidation here, but you could still make it work. Below this area, 125.50. Can we have predictions with Alpha? Oh, we're having a guest. Those guys, those quant guys. What's their name?
Gordon and Sean?
Yeah, their page name.
Predicting Alpha.
Oh yeah, those same guys. Predicting Alpha. Man, there is a lot of money for their fund.
Yeah, they do. They're very smart. They have a lot of capital behind them as well.
Yeah, I was talking with them, like we raised $1 million in like a small amount of time, and yeah, doing pretty good.
If you've never failed, try harder. Have you ever heard that, Jordan? No. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, they trade options, and I'm not sure what else they do, which we're gonna find out Friday. Why don't you trade higher time frames for more pips? Because your strategy works precisely on higher time frames. Oh, I think he does. You guys ever trade stocks? No. The thing about being profitable is just to stick to something you know, and something that you know on the back of your hand, like something you've seen it like for a long time, so you know like how it moves, how it behaves in that certain time. Because if I wanted to trade GPJPY in the London session, I wouldn't be able to trade it in the London session because I haven't seen it enough in the London session. I've only seen it in the New York session. So if someone's coming in late today, we had a sell below 134.400 for this move coming down towards 134, like 220, 200. Took the trade, closed the trade, profited, called it a day. All right, Mac is going to the beach. Very nice. Do you use candlestick patterns? No, I use price zones. So basically, when I came to the charts in the morning, I looked at the charts. Price was ranging here, right? Price was ranging in this area. Let me get a better thing here. Okay, so price was ranging. Price created support over here. It was creating resistance over here. It basically had a bullish run here. So when it had the bullish run here, I was like, okay, why did this bullish run come in? So I started looking at the news, right? So I went to calendar. I looked at if we had any pound news, and I see there were no pound news. So I was like, okay, well, it might be some important announcement. So I went to the news, and I saw that there was an announcement made by Boris. This was 3 hours ago. This was on the fact that that Britain will choose no deal Brexit if the trade talks stall. I have honestly, I don't know what that means, but it means like they will go for no Brexit if the talks stall. So that move up came from that announcement. Now the thing is, when that announcement was made, there was no decision taken. It was just like Boris said something and market reacted to his statement. So this was an impulse move up. This entire move up was an impulse move. So whenever you have impulse move up, this means there's no economic change happening. There's no like fundamentally things are still the same. It's just like the market had like a shock reaction to the statement. And whenever there's a shock reaction like that, there's a very high probability that price will correct that move down, because it had to move up. So then naturally I started looking for sells. Start looking for sells. So start to measure how big this move was, and if I measure this move was around, let's say from down over here, it was around like a 100 pip move. So from this 100 pip move, I started to see that okay, what will be the most logical place for price to come down to? So I said, well, maybe like this like 25 pip area or 30 pip area would be a great range to trade in. So I took sells. I had a buy sell stop at like 134, 400, but it got activated way too early and it actually dropped and we went in profits, and that was the trade for today. If this candle closes bullish, I will put sell stop below the low. Is it a good idea? I think a better idea would be to see if we create a minor resistance so that you can have a better sell. Because then you're going to know that, okay, then there's a chance for price to continue down to retest the low it created around 40 minutes ago. And then if price starts breaking this low, then you can earn even more pips, right? So I think that's going to be a better idea. So then at that point, you'll have to wait for this candle to see how it closes because you'll want a bearish confirmation for price to continue down. That Oompa Loompa setup is 99% win rate. Yes. We're getting the Oompa Loompa setup here with the river of chocolate. I work day and night shift. I'm finding difficulty finding trading times. I'm looking at London and NY session some days. Do you think it's okay or should I focus on one? I think you should focus on one session. That'll be better. Even if you're focusing on one session and it only like with your work schedule, you can only focus on let's say 3 days out of the week on one session. I think that's still pretty good because the 3 days can be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. High volume days. Especially Wednesday, Thursday. Rakeel bhai, koi trade li hai aapne? This means have you taken any trade so far? Yes, you can see right here. Yeah, so see now we're approaching a very important level here. Could this be a 30-minute fake out? We don't know yet unless it happens. Come on, man. Can't anticipate things before they happen. EURJPY is still ranging. US 30 is reversing. I've officially given up trading US 30 or trying to see how I can trade it. It's very difficult. It doesn't follow candle patterns as GJ does. It just does its own thing. The pullbacks are huge. It's a very unfair pair to trade for someone who's new.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it.
It is, and we talked about this, and that's what we said is that we would have a pullback um, on US 30 this hour because if you think logically, we have the currency market opening at 8 a.m. So think about the logic behind this, and this is where a lot of people misstep. Is you looked at the 6 a.m. hour, right? So Raja starts streaming at 6:30. You have sort of a continuation of the London move from 3 a.m. to about 6 a.m. At about 7 a.m. now, everybody's waking up in North America, and we're getting ready to trade the North American session, which starts at 8 a.m. So which is a half an hour from now. If I was a U.S. institution, why would I be taking positions with pairs that the London folk have already pushed down or up for me? With the volume that I can bring into the markets, why wouldn't I try and get those exact same price levels that the London people got when their market opened? So if we think about our opponent and we think about how our opponent reacts, you have to understand that they want the best price always for their trades and for what they're trying to do. So you as a retail trader, you have to understand who's coming to the table to sit down and play with you at any given time, right? We know the Asian session ranges. It's very difficult because the people coming to sit down there don't have a lot of volume. There's not a lot of information. It's brand new, a brand new day. We don't know what the market's going to look like. Think about it logically. If you're in the Asian session, right? So the Asian session starts and we're trying to trade the pound yen. Which is the more powerful currency, the pound or the yen? It's going to be the pound. So the yen isn't really going to make the pound move that much until the folks in London wake up, right? So this is the reason why you see a lot of times the Asian session ranges or it has bad moves because there's not enough volume in there. And then as we go through the London and the New York sessions, that's where we get the volume, but we also get the market structure to define how we're going to move. So when you think logically, if we're approaching the currency open at 8 a.m. and that's when all the North American players are going to enter, why would we have the market in a bad position for them? They're going to prop it up before they dump it, or they're going to push it down before they pull it up. You as a trader have to be cognizant of this, and you have to always be aware. It doesn't happen 100% of the times, but you can see with US 30, we just had a major pull up at 7 a.m., which we talked about, because now as 8 a.m. starts, you're going to start to see that push potentially further down because the equity markets are in a negative position. They don't want to take positions at the bottom. They want to take positions at the best price. So you have to keep that in mind as you're trading all the time. Who's in the market at the time? Where are they going and why are they doing what they're doing?
My first chart. Let's take a look at this. Oh, wrong chart. Wrong chart, mate. Quick dumb question. Why is GJ one of the only pairs that move during all sessions? Why does it move so strongly during NY session when it's European Japan pair as opposed to pair USD CAD? Yeah, because the pound is also open at this time. That's why. The pound is also open at this time, so you need to look at the time. Andrew, I think you need to go through that market sessions section on the database. Can you look at your USD? Nope, I can't look at anyone. If you say it says don't say look at this or look at that, just post a chart. Have you got any sources of information to learn about who is trading in each session? Yes, you can use Google. Google will tell you which currencies are open in what session. Can you explain how to close partial profits and leave runner? Yes, you can YouTube that. YouTube how to close partials on MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5. You will get your answer. How to grow small account. Take consistent wins. Don't overtrade, don't over risk, and you'll see your account will start growing. Hey Raj, there's no Raj here, but I'll think you meant me. Um, are you going to take any more trades? Nope, no more trades. Took a sell and that was about it. What's this? Oh, I'm blocked. Oh wow, yeah, look at this. Dude is using my picture as his. Wow, man, people are crazy. This is my picture,
Oh shit, that's awesome.
and I cut my nails like that too. What is right?
He's got white hands, but you have brown hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
This was
That's-
like, wow, man, this guy. This is like last month. What did he write over here? Buy me modest in your spending, give back. Wow, what bullshit. And people
Sniper
just,
King.
yeah,
So funny.
people believe this excellent work. Someone said get cancer. Good service.
Why don't you have your Wicks Don't Lie savages like everybody else and just have them spam that?
Yeah, hey, can everyone just like go comment on it and say this is fake? And tag me in it. I'm gonna go do it myself too right now.
Oh man. Oh, Pikachu's back. Hey, welcome. Oh, leave him to me, Raja. Okay. Pikachu likes you now because he's finally given in.
Yeah, yeah. His win ratio is like 80 to 89%. Nice. Guy's doing good. Yeah, I think GJ now is turning around over here. We'll have to wait and see what happens closer to NY Open.
Yeah, I have a sell stop with US 30 at 24,920.
24,920. Okay.
Yeah, up. Below the, yeah,
Oh, okay,
right
okay,
there.
okay.
Yeah, because I'm expecting this now to reject again, and then I want to start to catch the downside move towards 8 a.m.
Oh, so you're looking at the smaller time frames here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, similar to what you have with GJ, right? GJ started to pull back a bit, so I'll wait for the flip. I'm not going to try and ride. I'm not going to ride US 30 up. I mean, if people are looking for buys at US 30, that's fine. I don't believe buys right now with US 30, so I'll let it drive up as hard as it can, and then I'll wait for it to come back down. If it doesn't come down, then I don't get a trade. That's all. I had a trade earlier with US 30, so I'll try and take another one.
Oh wow, that guy got spammed. 150 comments. Oh wow.
The power of the internet. Please correct my analysis.
Where is it?
Masood Mohammed. I think I said his name right.
Oh. Let's take a look at this. This is gold chart. Oh, weekly.
Ooh. Well, I don't think we have to correct it. I think we just have to wait. I think personally, what you'd be waiting for now to have this drop is you're going to need this area here to look like this. So you're going to have to bring that across for us to drop there, but you need rejections. So wait for that to set up. I think this here could be a fake out to go up more before we start to go down. And we've talked about this previously, is we've had a very big run with gold for the first 6 months of the year. So the second half may bring that drop. But the other issue is we have elections coming in the United States, so that can create instability. So you might find that gold may stay above 1700s or 1600s for a while and not drop into 1500s until after the election. Will depend on whoever wins.
That's in November.
Yes,
Oh,
correct. Yeah, and Trump's already won a couple of the primaries already. So.
you know, I'm pretty sure he's coming back. He's not leaving the White House.
No, he is coming back, yeah.
Even if he loses, he's be like, nah, I'm staying here. I'm staying right here. You'll have to drag me out of the White House.
Well, did you see there's a video of him that he was holding his cup with two hands, pushing it to his mouth. So
Yeah.
people are thinking that he's getting sick.
Yeah, I saw that. They're like, he needs to learn how to drink water from the cup.
Well, they said that he had
all
a
this-
stroke, and
Oh.
that's why he's weak. Yeah.
Could be. He's pretty old.
Yep.
And like, I can't imagine the amount of physical stress the body takes when you're the president of the US. Always traveling, always something going on. Like, your mind is just going round and round and round.
Yeah.
All right, GJ's back at this level here, and it's you just gotta wait to see if it's gonna reject it or break above. So this is just waiting right now.
Yeah, US 30 popped up back into that range again, which was to be expected. So I think you might find over the next hour, 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., it'll start to pull back down. So I think you're right. Where we had support here held, probably go back up here and continue to drop. I have my sell stop right over here. That's where my sell stop is. What time frame are we showing?
The 3-week time frame.
This is the time frames up there. Time frames are up there. All up there are your time frames. Time frame.
All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is confusing chart. Let's skip it.
What? Wow.
Yeah, look at this. It was like some future going on over here.
It's interesting. I don't know how people can do evaluations on those charts. It's very hard.
Yeah, it's like we're going in the matrix over here now. Yeah, so just waiting for GJ here. I mean, if GJ comes back in the range, yeah, if it comes back in the range, starts creating support around here, I think there'll be an opportunity to continue moving up and break above 134,660, because then this move down becomes a fake out. Don't trade US 30, but following it recently, would it be valid to anticipate something like this?
Yep, that's what we were just talking about. Because once again, we're right before the New York session open, so the market's driving up to potentially drop back down. So we just have to wait. But like I said earlier, if excuse me, if we go too low, there's going to be buying opportunities for those equities. So the US 30 will drive up. So keep that in mind. Just because the market is tanking right now doesn't mean it'll tank forever. So you have to be very, very cautious of that.
All right, what's this? Trade activated at 134,333 for a buy on the 15-minute. Close 2/3 of 5 pips, leaving runner at 134.15. Yeah, looks good. I think you took it based on the 15-minute time frame here, as this kind of closed bullish. So you're expecting price to continue moving bullish into this range. Make sense? Makes sense. I think at this point, like once you finish the trade, you should look to see how you could have gotten a better entry. Maybe how could you have gotten in on this candle right over here instead of taking out on this candle here. Um, I think you missed it, but it's possible Brexit talks come positive for the pound, making 1 hour fake out and continue moving up back in the range. Yeah, that could happen. That could happen. I mean, if we do close back in the range, then it should continue moving up, you know. And if this becomes a fake out and we start moving up, and if the Brexit talks come in and that really pushes pound bullish, then that would mean that, hey, look, price action made sense. And ironically, Brexit talks came in the way and that continued pushing price bullish. So that would make sense. But I'm not going to put a lot of weight on the Brexit talks because, you know, I focused mainly on the price action because we don't know where news is going to go. It's just simple fact. We just don't know where news is going to go. We trade based on what the price is saying. All right, let's take a look at this chart. This is Euro New Zealand. Sells below 1.74850. Yeah, makes sense. You got clean traffic here to the left hand side. I think you have ample range of 24 pips, so it looks good. Does look good. Yeah, I think this move down was a fake out. If you do break above 134,660, I think we're going to continue moving bullish. This resistance right here. This is also where the market opened too. You know, like this was the area respected before market closed. So this is a strong resistance then. Market opened down over here, tried going up, tried going into 134,600, couldn't go in there, it came down. And then London push went up to 134,600 and pushed down. And now we're coming back up again in this area, so it could make sense for it to continue moving bullish. First time watching your stream, welcome, welcome. So it's okay to trade when price is coming into a range zone if it has momentum from the opposite direction. Yes and no. I mean, you need to see it happen over and over again for it to work out. Like most things I say here, I've seen them happen numerous times, over and over again. You know, so most things are not written in stone. They're just based on anticipation and what I've seen before, like the moves I've missed and trying to so that's just based on what has happened before and how much experience you've had watching them happen. I hear an inflection in your voice there. What does that mean, inflection? Catching me off guard over here. A change in a form of word. Yeah. I mean, you have to look at a couple things, like there are a lot of variables at play. Like the most important, like the only thing that stays constant is your risk. That's it. That's the only thing that stays constant. I mean, taking a buy over here would have been like there was no confirmations other than the fact that okay, this candle's closing back in the range, and that was the only confirmation. But if you're looking for a like a stop loss in this area, pretty big, 20 pips. This is like kind of trade I took last week too, when we had a fake out on the 15-minute. UK shops have reopened today. Okay. Do you think they will have an effect on the market? Yeah, I mean, it could. I mean, I'm not sure about that, but that's going to drive in more optimism for price to continue moving bullish. So based on price action right now, if this is a fake out, so this means that price could not maintain its move bearish, right? So it broke down, came up, had to do a retest to continue down, but the candle's closing back in the range. This means that now there's a very high chance price will break above 134,600 and continue moving up. Because now you also have clean candles here to the left that came down, so there should be a mirroring effect coming up. All right, let's take a look at this. This is, I saw this as a fake out. Okay, that makes sense. Entry candle high time frame bullish when trade was taken, formed support, secured 12 pips. Yeah, I think this is perfect. This is really, really good analysis right here. That was based on a 30 minutes, so you saw this as previous resistance, and this move down as a fake out. Yeah, looks good. It's very good. Thanks for doing these live streams. I've learned so much. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's the idea. You come on over here and you present your ideas, you see our ideas, and you make them work for yourself. Let's take a look at this chart. Your GP 4 hour, trying to take a sell. Yeah, I think you need to look at the smaller time frames to see, like, if there's any consolidation here, because it looks like it's consolidating and looks like GJ is breaking up over here now. That move down did indeed become a fake out, and now we're trying to move up. Just beautiful. Now, two things are going to happen. Either price will continue moving bullish, or it will come down, or it will like create a support around 134,600 and then continue moving up. I'm in no trades here because there was no confirmation for me to take a buy. Neither was I looking for a buy. Do you ever use indicators? Nope. I I just entered on this trade. Do you think my stop loss should be the one? Ooh, let's take a look at this. This is very big stop. Yeah, I think you can bring your stop up a little bit. Let's take a look here. Yeah, maybe you can bring a stop below the 15-minute candle, because now when the 15-minute candle is breaking up, this becomes a breakout candle, right? And if this is a breakout candle, and if price does form support, it shouldn't break the low of the 15-minute candle low, which is the breakout candle. It shouldn't break the low of the breakout candle. So it should create like a support and then continue moving up. Because essentially now price is making a high above an area where it hasn't broken since the 12th of June. Well, like since Friday. So it's breaking above Friday. If it closes bullish, that means it has created a high. And that'll give you some more information that okay, now we may start continuing bullish up towards at least 135, even 135, 100. No, I'm not in this trade. How do you know he entered again? Because I'm here telling you.
Yeah, my sell stop right now is still hanging around with US 30. I want to see how it reacts at 9:30. I think 9:30 you might get that move down, unless it's going to push up to like 227, 25, 227, and then start to pull down. But I guess for everyone's talking in the chat there. There was a few people talking about the sell stop with GJ. It didn't get activated. That's the reason why you put a sell stop there, and you wouldn't take a market order for a sell, because you can see it just rifled up. And like you were saying earlier, Raj, it's too hard to pick that out in terms of a trade, especially if you have a sell bias, until it breaks back into that range.
Yeah. Like you can anticipate it, but it's really hard to say, okay, I'm going to execute right now.
Yeah. Like to be honest, here would have been a good way to take a trade, but I mean, I can't trust that based on this candle here, because this candle could have easily been a fake out to continue driving down. I wouldn't have trusted that, to be honest, because of this huge area here, just to potentially drop here, not just pull up like that. It's a really interesting formation, to be honest.
Let's take a look at this chart. This is USD CAD 1 week. Yeah, I think you need to see some sort of a resistance forming on the smaller time frames to take a sell. First chart posting. All right. Ooh, nice. Taking buys on using JPY. Beautiful. Yeah, I think at this point, a support created at this area would be pretty nice for price to continue moving bullish. Do you think we will get a push start of the NY Open like we do with the UK most times? Yeah, it's very likely. Very likely what could happen is that we may see a move back in this range and then start forming support to continue moving up. Because, I mean, if this was a fake out right down over here, so then price should continue moving bullish, because it couldn't maintain its move bearish. And with the Brexit talks coming up pretty soon, I think that could provide liquidity for price to continue moving up. I'm scared of the day you stop live streaming. Your stream is changing so many lives, including mine. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think once this spot of 6:30 to 9 a.m. Eastern, it opens up, there will be a lot of New York session streams that will start at this time. And they will all compete for this time. So right now we are ahead of the curve. Yeah, this is the prime time right now. Look at GPAUD. Please send a chart. Do you ever look at the 5 minute candles? Nope. No way, no way. Should I try FTMO if I'm profitable for 6 months? Yes. Yeah, I guess there's a lot of some waiting here now. Still got 2 minutes left for the New York Open. I'm gonna get some coffee over here and let's see what happens.
Yeah, so if you've looked at US 30 now, there was a massive rejection um, on the 15-minute candle, which coincides with what we were talking about with orders, the market trying to get better orders. So my sell stop is still at 25 or 24,920. I'm going to watch how the next 15 and 30-minute candles react. I may close the sell stop before it gets activated because I don't like the fact that there's a heavy support on the 15-minute level there. And then if we do get momentum, then I let the trade run, because if we do break that support, we should have a nice push all the way through. I just want to I want to see how the next candles react, right? So the 15-minute candle right now is dropping bearish. I suspect there'll be another pull up a bit with the next 15-minute candle to start the drive further down, but I could be wrong. So just be very cautious, because the hour candle still finished bullish. So the drop that happens now could be a drop to then drive further up. So be very cautious about that. What I'd like to see in the next hour, I want to see a rejection to the upside first, then a drop. I don't want to see a drop first and then a push up, because what that signifies to me is that we're going to fill this hour candle. We're going to fill the wick that was left on this 7 a.m. candle. So I want to make sure that we have a rejection to the upside so that we can start driving down, and that begins the descent for the 8 o'clock hour, which is the New York session currency open, and then 9:30, which is the North American equity open, which would then coincide with the drop expected as the futures market continues to go down because of the negative equities correlation. So just be very cautious now. So as you're watching this new candle form, this new hour candle, if it continues to go up, that's fine. As it starts to reject the upper levels, so say around 12 or 25,078, around that area, if we start to wick up and then drop down, I expect my sell stop to be valid, and we should probably go down all the way to 24,700. So really be cautious where we're moving with US 30. Like I said, this area here to me could potentially be a new rejection area. And then essentially what we're looking for is we're looking for this area over here. So as we reject this area here, we're going to start to see candles that are going to form outside of that area. And if I get a candle that's outside of the area, then that means that my sell stop will be a little bit more valid to continue going down into this area here, breaking through this support. This support here should be broken because of the fact that we're entering now into a higher volume area with the US dollar in terms of the like I said, the currency market opening and then the equity market opening later on today. Now, once we get to this area over here, I'd be cautious trying to go down to this level deep, unless we have, obviously clear movement. So it'll be managing your trade accordingly at that point.
Wow, G just started running up over here. Strong run up. Oof. Straight up. No pullback. See, this is what I've learned about GJ. Most times it does no pullbacks at all.
Instantly, no delay.
Yeah. No waiting around for GJ. How far do you draw zones from? If a price smashes through the zone without stopping, well, if it's doing this right now and just looking left, that's it. Looking left right here, if a zone right here, okay, perfect. And this move came down, and I'm gonna look to see, okay, where was the resistance formed before this move came down, and it was right over here. How long did it take you to take your $700 account to the current amount? I didn't. I deposited more after a little while. The thing was, I never continued to trade a smaller account. I I traded a smaller account and then I added more money as I saw that I was getting better. Kind of like the same thing you guys should do when you're approaching funded accounts and those things. Wow, what a crazy move. This was what, 30 pips? Well, the good thing about this move is that we broke down the sells and then we talked about the buys too, like what would make sense with the buys. So there was no confusion. There was nothing like, oh, why is price moving up? We don't know why it's moving up. We all know why it's moving up. The only thing is in terms of entries and like perfect retests, that did not happen, because like sometimes price just does what it wants, and we got to be okay with that. Why do you think, why do you, Mr. Raja, why you didn't took a buy position when it broke above resistance or use a buy stop? Because I already took sells earlier and I did what I had to do today. No FOMO. All right, let's take a look at this chart. Oh, nice. Possible zone to create support to go up. Yeah, it looks good. If you find a support, I think it should continue moving up towards 135, 100. It's pretty good. To be honest, you're shady sometimes. Oh, okay. I saw you say to Nick Sean, why teach people FTMO, and I disagree. We all know if you have a chance to manage more money. Man, Tommy Burns, this thing has been talked about yesterday. I don't know whether you were, I mean, I just don't want to say anything. This conversation has been done yesterday. If you were to take these buys, would the 1 hour candle be with no bottom weight to make you not take the trade? If I was to take these buys, I think I would have taken them based on this 15-minute candle in the range. I think that's what I would have done. I did that. I did this last week too. If I scroll back here, I did a breakdown on YouTube and I pointed it out where I did that. I think it was, oh yeah, it was right here. It was right here. So I did it right over here. We had this move down on the 30-minute. This is like a nice support. We had this move down, price came up. There was a resistance here. 15-minute formed support and then took a buy based on this fake out down here. And the same thing happened over here too. I didn't take it because I already took my sells earlier on. Same thing happened here. Price broke support, came back in the range, and kind of like, could have been an aggressive buy entry. I think some people took it, so that's good. What is your advice for next step? If let's say we miss this buy trade, what do we wait for? I think the best thing you should wait for if you've missed this buy is for price to maybe like, retrace, create some sort of support. By support, I'd mean like wait for price to create some sort of bearish candle followed by a bullish candle, because then you'll have a support formed. Because ideally now price basically made a low, came back up in the range, broke up, coming up now, so it's broken above 134,600. It made a high actually at 134,950. So the idea would be for price to retrace, create support, and then retest that high. So I think that move up you could get it. Oh, I think Tommy Burns is one of those trolls that looks smart. So probably gonna,
Yeah, they're the nice trolls. I don't want to
yeah.
hate, but can you tell me this? It's like, man, I've been doing this since 2015.
This is like
Thanks, though.
3 years have passed.
I know.
Man, people so dumb. I saw your IG story and you have one video that explained everything exactly on how to enter and exit the trade. What date was that? I think we do that every day. I think every day on the live streams I show you how to enter and exit the trade.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that all 2,600 people should write down right now is if you have a question about what goes on here, do not ask what's happening. Right, go back and watch the replays over and over again and watch multiple videos on this channel about the live stream. And you'll see every day we break down trades, we give stop losses, we give take profits, we give ideas, we give rationales. Like, we don't sit here and just watch the charts. Like, there's constant information being provided. You have to go do some work. I know it sucks. I know it sucks. Think about this live stream. If you're coming in right now as your favorite TV show on TV that has 10 seasons with like 18 episodes a season, you're going to have to start somewhere, and you're going to have to start binge watching. You're going to need to learn about Raja's character. You're going to learn about Ted's character. When Chris Monty's here, you're going to learn about his character. Like, this is like watching a TV show. You come in right now, this is 2020. We've been doing this since 2018. We already have character development. Raja was saved. He was on a train track the other day. I saved him by pulling the ropes off his legs. Kerwin was cooking steaks like 3 weeks ago. Like, there's so many stories that have happened already. If you're interested in this TV show, you got to go watch the previous seasons, because coming in now asking like what happened with Raja's hair yesterday, man, that was discussed like in 2018. Like, you got to go back and watch the previous seasons and the previous episodes to catch you up on all the latest. This is a soap opera. This is the longest running Forex soap opera going right now. This is 2 years in the making.
Here's my overall analysis for the fake out. Oh, let's take a look at this. I think we got an interesting chart coming in. This is a buy over here. 130 may kind of close above and break below, and buy stop got activated, and nice. So I think it got activated over here and you went into some profits. Hopefully you secured some profits here. Oh, you went 22 pip profits. Another big drawdown. I wonder what's going on. Let's take a look at this. Oh no, another big drawdown. God damn. I think you need education here. That's what it is. You need education here.
Yeah, I have a question. Why is this area here bigger than this area here? That's the first question you have to ask yourself. If that's the first problem I see. The second problem I see here is, that's, I guess, the biggest problem in general. But where was the confirmation for taking a position here?
Yeah, I also think, yeah, like your stop should have been at this blue line you have over here. even if you're taking this sell. So if you've removed your stop loss, then congratulations. Just played yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you might be saved if this candle flips and then the next one drives. You might be might be
Yeah.
the savior candle coming. This is your savior candle right now. Because US 30 is doing the same thing right now. It's starting to drop, so we might have gotten the move that we're looking for to continue dropping with US 30. So my sell stop's still on there. I just want to see if this hour candle really starts to dip a bit.
Your JPY is still ranging. US 30 is kind of like now forming that little arch.
Yep. So what we talked about earlier with US 30 is we got this rejection happening here. I want to see another candle reject out of that area and then drop down. So this candle here is still a little scary because we're still in this zone here. I want to see a candle open over here somewhere, and hopefully that just drives us all the way down. Because my stop is about to get activated. My stop will be right over here. But I'm hoping that this doesn't get activated before the next 15-minute candle. So my next 15-minute candle can do something like this. And then my stop can be over here, which is below this area here.
All right, what's this? Sold at resistance here, bought at beginning new candle, broke. I don't know what's going on. I think you bought here. Looks good. Okay. Will these lives ever stop? Um, I think people used to ask Joe Rogan about his podcast as well. Like, will they ever stop? And I think they continue to go on. So I think these lives will also continue to go on. Yeah, they will continue to go on unless some big company comes in and says, "Hey, we'd like to like get some I don't know what they're trying to do, like license it or franchise or whatever term that they use." I think for 50 million, pretty good. Or if YouTube says, "Hey, we're gonna like do something with your lives because it's a lot of good information." All right, let's take a look at the Chinese indicator over here. The Chinese indicator is saying pound is really, really strong, dollar is really weak, and yen is really weak. So this means GJ should continue moving up, right? But with respect to price action, I think you need to see some sort of a confirmation here for it to continue moving up. I mean, this 15-minute candle can continue moving up as well. So I think aggressive entries would be over here if you're not waiting for support to be formed in the anticipation we might fill this wick and then continue bullish till 135, 100. But I think the best practice would be for price to maybe create some sort of support and then continue up. Because we had two high volume moves, one coming down and one coming up. How much Hugo's Way dishing out? I can't discuss that. It's pretty good. Oh, 30K a month. Oh. How do you know a wick is going to get filled? Because when price is in momentum, wicks get filled.
If you're watching US 30 now, what we've got on the 15-minute chart is similar to what I was talking about. Is now we're leaving this zone here. This new candle here is forming. So what I'm looking at once again is we've left officially this zone here, and now this new candle's forming. So you have that little tiny zone which is not relevant, but the idea would be now we should continue to drive right through to here, and then at this point we have potentially a decision to be made whether we're going to continue, and then once we do break through we should be here. Now looking at what we have in terms of the futures market, the futures market is still down 500 points, so there's a good there's a good reason that US 30 should continue to drop. If it doesn't drop now, I would watch it around 9:30. So in the next hour and a half, I would start to come back to this again if we do get there. And I would also be aware that if we do get the drop that we're looking for right now, there could be a massive pullback again before 9:30, which would start the drop again. So just be very cautious as we start to enter US 30 if your sells are getting activated, things of that nature, just because of the fact that there could be a drop now between what is 8:15 right now and 9:15 for the next hour, and then it could pull all the way back up to drop again later on throughout the rest of the morning if the Dow continues to sink at this point. So just be very cautious.
Would you say if GJ's price continues on a bullish momentum, it could fill the daily candle? Let's take a look here. Daily candle, yes, exactly. It could fill it at 136. So that's way up over here on the 4 hour. So I mean, if this 4 hour continues bullish, then there's a very high chance we may continue up to this 4 hour candle that came down on Friday around New York Open. And that would mean on the small time frames, we're going to continue making higher highs and higher lows and continue up. So yeah, that would make sense. When you were getting consistent, what did your practice routine look like other than your trading journaling? You spent X hours simulating every day. No, actually, I was only simulating maybe 2 hours over the weekend. That's it. I just reduced my chart time a lot. Because the less time you spend on the charts, the more fresh your mind is going to be. And then more open you're going to be about like entries and exits, because like the more time you spend on a chart, trust me, like your confidence, like it affects your confidence, it affects your whole methodology to enter trades as well.
Raja, you're muted.
Yeah, so basically someone asked what's the analysis on gold was, and the whole idea was like, unless you don't send your own analysis, you're never going to be able to find what like how you can correct your own analysis. Because like if someone's looking at my charting here, your charting may be completely different than my chart work. So unless you don't send your own chart work, you're not going to get any feedback, you're going to get no critique on it, and as a result, you're never going to get better. The only problem I have with new people is like when you join a group or when you join a mentorship, you should be posting charts, because if you don't post charts, you don't post analysis, you will never ever get better. Trust me, never you will get better. I've seen this happen over and over again. Countless examples.
I agree with that. A lot of people just think that you're going to learn this through osmosis, and what I mean by that is you're just going to stare at something and it's going to make sense. You actually have to practice this and actually go through and do things here. My stop is about to get activated. It almost did. So now US 30 is, like obviously I'd have a stop above here if my stop gets activated. And I'm hoping that we start to break further down at this point. But you can see we had this rejection area here, so I'm hoping that we continue to go through here. It just keeps tickling my sell stop and pulling back up, which is good, because then the next 30-minute candle could potentially go further down, which then gives me a stop right above here. Recommend a broker. You could probably go through the channel here and it says recommended broker, trusted brokers, right on the description of the stream. So that'll help you. What's my lot size? I have a 25 lot set up for a buy stop or a sell stop with US 30. I usually go between 25 and 50. That's a comfort level for me, just in terms of the way that the market moves and also my overall risk and my overall calculations for what I want for profit each day. It varies based on where I'm at in the overall month and how comfortable I am with market structure. My sell stop hasn't started yet. My leverage on my account is 100 to 1. Limit orders are harder to use because you're actually predicting a reversal, where a sell stop or where stop orders usually just go with market trend. Do you expect one day to use 1,000 lot trade? Nope. How long would you recommend to practice demo? Well, I mean, it's not how long per day, it's really what opportunities are there in the market. I don't think anyone should worry about people's lot sizes. I think it all comes down to sort of what you're comfortable with and sort of how you've built your account over the years. I think I've been trading for 5 years now, and I am probably over 20 years older than most people in here, so I have a lot more tolerance for trading in risk management than many others. Ooh, sell stop is about to get activated. Ooh, it's coming. So close. It looks good. It can probably drop all the way down. This 15-minute candle and 30-minute candle can push. I just hope I don't get wicked out. How many accounts did you blow before? Well, I didn't blow any accounts. Came close, but didn't blow any accounts. Risk management.
Wow, G just coming back in, back in over here, backing up. Yeah, I guess we're just waiting here now. Just coming back up. So it broke above, 134,600. It needs to form support for price to continue moving up. If it comes back in the range, then this becomes definitely a no trading range. 100% no trading range. What do you think the best regulated broker for the United States? Owanda. Did you check the charts coming from YouTube chat or only those coming in Zoom chat? I check all the chats. YouTube charts, I do check them as well, but I give preference to the Zoom charts. Because the messages come in at a supersonic speed on YouTube, so it's really hard for me to check all the charts there. Bias is bullish, waiting for confirmation. If you see a bullish candle forming, I think that's pretty good. First area could be 1.36650. Let's take a look at this. GJ, monthly chart, no bottom wick here, rejected this resistance hard, coming down. Is this something we should be aware of? My bias is bullish, but this makes sense to me. Careful since I'm being story when I start analyzing GJ. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the monthly, and if you're trading based on the 1 hour time frame or the 30-minute time frame, I mean, it's just there are a lot of 1 hour candles on one monthly time frame, right? So I wouldn't really, I'd keep that in the back of my mind, but if I'm trading based on the 1 hour or 30-minute, like right over here, then I just keep that monthly in the back of my mind. Because if you look on the monthly here, let's take a look at the monthly. If we're looking on the monthly here, we see that monthly range like 600 pips, right? 700 pips. So if you're looking on the 1 hour, that's a big move. So you just got to keep it in the back of your mind what's going on. Because if you want to trade off the monthly, then you'd be looking at the weekly and the daily time frames.
Oh, my sell stop didn't get activated again. Came close, but no cigar.
You're still safe. There.
think a lot of the questions that people are asking right now is their personal preference. You know, how many trades should I take in a day if I lose, or what should I start with? What are my risks? All that stuff. That's personal preference. Where is your sell stop? My sell stop is at 24,920. It has not been activated yet. The closest we came was 24,920.5. We didn't actually drop into that level. How do you know if wicks are going to be filled or not? Wicks get filled in momentum. So the higher the time frame, more chances are they should be filled in momentum, unless we're at a major support or major resistance, and that's where you have to determine in your charts. What will be your stop loss if your sell stop hits? It will be below this current 15-minute setup. So there's 15-minute candles that are forming on US 30. My sell stop, I'm assuming at this point, as this holds, this resistance level holds here, this sell stop gets activated over here, we should continue to go down, and my stop would be above these candles. That's what I've been talking about for the last 45 minutes, is having something hold above this, because once again, using simple structure, you can see that this is a major zone, and now candles are starting to break away from that zone. And you can see that we're starting to move away. Confluence on top of that is the equity markets is in a negative position right now. So we should have a nice drop, because our equity position right now is we're down 600 points. In the futures market is down 600 points. So that should allow us to continue to drop. Now, once again, the drop is not happening as fast as we would like, because everybody knows that the Dow is going to start off negative. So think about it this way. If everybody knows the exact same thing, we are not going to move with a very, very easy way through the market. Okay, this is what you have to get through your heads, is if millions of people see the exact same thing we see right now, they're not just going to say, hey, the market should just drop right now. Everybody has to get in on the boat before the boat takes off. So that means every institution and every big whale has to take positions before we start moving. So you as a retail trader just has to sit back and wait for the whales to take over. When the whales take over, that's when the market will move. It might not move for another hour. And then when it does, you better believe the algos are going to turn on, and we're just going to rip right through different levels, providing the equity market still stays in a negative pattern. So be patient. Oh boy, yes, take it easy. Just enjoy your time and let the trade develop. Noticed you move your stop loss very fast before 10 pips. Yeah, because I don't like taking losing trades. It's just something in my psychological makeup. If I can take a small profit and I can close and I can protect my account, that's what I try and do. I don't like taking losing trades. I don't like being in a drawdown after I've already been in profit. And I don't care if my trade hits break even 8 days in a row. It doesn't bother me at all. My goal here is to make sure that I do not lose money in my account, not try and risk more money in my account. I have a big break-even percentage. I break even a lot. I take small wins a lot of the times too, but those small wins in a month add up to big money. I don't know what candlestick patterns are. If everybody's doing the exact same thing, nobody makes money. Think about it that way. So all these things that you're taught on the internet, everybody does the exact same thing. Then what ends up happening is people use that information to counteract how other people will trade. Right? So if we understand that, we have to do things that nobody else is doing to allow us to have an edge in the market. If everybody is doing the exact same thing, the market becomes efficient, and an efficient market doesn't make money. You need inefficiencies in the market to make money. So we need people doing stupid things so smart people can make money. So if everybody's doing the exact same thing, nobody will make money, because we're all in the exact same pattern. So you need people to do things that aren't the same. And candle patterns, if they worked 100% of the time, then why wasn't my grandmother a trader? Why wasn't my grandfather a trader? Think about it logically. If all these books and all these things are out there and there to help you, if that's the case, then everybody should be a trader. There should be no doctors, there should be no lawyers, there should be no coffee people, there should be nothing. Everyone should be a trader if that's what it is, because trading makes you the most money in the least amount of time, right? So think about logically things that you read on the internet, things that you can't verify with others, things you don't have access to daily. Does that really make sense in what you're doing? We're here on the live stream. You see what we do every day. We don't use candle patterns. We don't talk about all these different indicators. We don't do any of that, because if that worked, then everybody would be a trader. Just use common sense. It's very, very easy. The reason why people write books is because they've already exploited the idea, and that idea is no longer valid, but people think it is, right? If you think about all the latest investing books, real estate books, any sort of self-help book, all those things, those ideas have already been exploited. Writing a book is the last thing that you do to get a little bit of extra money, because the markets have already changed, the ideas have already changed, they become stale, but everybody chases what already exists. Like, if you think about it, once the mainstream takes it over, it's already too late. So any trends or any ideas that you're looking at, you have to look in the underground, and you have to look where nobody else is looking. That's how you capitalize on things. Once it's in the mainstream, once there's books about it, man, it's too late. No, don't even bother reading books. All you're gonna do is cloud your mind because some guys told you, "Hey, this is how I made money." That market's come and gone. Those dynamics have changed over the years. You have to adapt, and you have to get the latest information to stay ahead of the curve. Well, I don't mean don't read any books, but these books that talk about systems and strategies, chances are they're not useful. Let's put it that way. If a lot of people learn your method, well, our method is just adapting to the market, so it's always changing. There's no one direct method. It's probability. Like, now you're arguing semantics. If we take a sell today, it could be a sell today, but it could be a buy tomorrow, right? Okay, we have to stop spamming the chat because it's annoying. Just say it once and that's it.
What's this? Certain days like Mondays, Fridays, do you advise avoiding stop orders? Yeah, I think like I encourage people to use less risk on Mondays and Fridays. That's what I encourage. GJ is tanking. No, it's not. It's just at a support level. So the idea of stock trade will also not work in the future. Oh, they will always work. I mean, certain things always work, but the way they are presented, it changes, right? So that's why the market is an ever-learning market. You can never stop learning. I'm new here. What is support resistance? Babypips.com. I lost a lot of money today. Should have taken it easy on a Monday. Yes. About to get stopped out of GJ. Should have took profits. Yes. See, when you get stopped out enough before you'd have taken profits, you'll finally get frustrated enough to say that, okay, I'm going to take profits. Wick cross trade, need bullish close. Yes, I think you need a bullish idea here for price to continue moving bullish. I think a lot of people are looking for the same thing. Let's take a look here. Wick fill around 16-18 pips, want to see a bullish candle close, which would confirm support. Yep, that makes sense. That would make perfect sense. That would be like a breakout, come down, retest, create support for price to continue moving bullish. You have to have a certain level of experience and understanding to get some of the things they are saying. Yes. How do you choose your TP? I think this stream is not built for extremely new traders. You need some sort of experience to come in here, because I was talking to somebody who has been coming to the stream for about 4 months now, and they said that the first time I came on the stream was my first week of trading. And he's like, my first week on the stream was extremely overwhelming. It's like I had no idea what was going on. And he's like, after I spent a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, by the end of the third week, I started understanding what you guys were saying, what was happening. So he just sat back and just watched. How to share my chart on TradingView. See, that's the perfect example of not doing your analysis.
If this was a classroom, I'd just be laughing in the front all day. Would you think about it this way? I think anytime you ask a question, pretend there are 2,500 people watching you stand up and ask the question, and then think to yourself, can I find this answer before I post it in the chat room? I think if you did that, a lot of these questions would disappear, because you would realize that there's information all around you, and just throwing out questions because you don't want to do the research, people would be throwing stuff at you, they'd be screaming at you, stop it, you're wasting our time, it's already been explained. You have 2,600 people in here. What time does your stream start? I just blew my account because I don't know. Yeah, probably. On GJ, if I would consider buy stops above the current 15-minute, well, I mean, once again, I would look at the overall time frame, not just one time frame. This 15-minute candle on US 30 finished bullet bearish again. We might actually get a drop soon. GJ goes up, UCAD going up, or GJ going down, UCAD up. I don't know the correlation behind that. It's hard to correlate things when you have 4 different currencies in 2 pairs. How do you correlate the pound, yen, and the US dollar, Canadian dollar? How do you make a correlation between those 4 currencies? I think we have to evaluate what correlation means.
So the 15-minute candle here closed bullish. This means this is a confirmation, but this is a very, very weak confirmation on the 15-minute time frame for it to continue moving bullish. So the stop is going to be like 6, 7, 8 pips, with the anticipation that price will continue moving bullish as this 4-hour candle starts coming to a close.
I think people have to tell a better story. Just because we're looking at one time frame here on the charts doesn't mean that you just evaluate information on one time frame. You need 3 or 4 time frames to make an overall decision and execute on one time frame. So please stop saying the 15 minutes bearish, so that means we're going down. What do the other time frames look like so that you can put a story together? Okay, you have to understand that the 15-minute, the 5-minute, the 30-minute, those are time frames that you execute on for the higher time frame bias. So you have to make sure that your higher time frames do match up as well. Otherwise, you're just going to end up screwing yourself over in the long run. Do you have an opinion on Euro AUD for the session time? I haven't looked at it today. Right now, it looks to be ranging, to be honest. Nothing really happening with it.
Oh wow, Facebook has started to work with banks to send and receive payments via WhatsApp. This is big.
think we're gonna have to do tests before people come into the YouTube chat. It's getting a little crazy in there with 2,500 people.
Yeah, when you log in, you should get like a form, and you need to fill that form, and that form is going to decide whether you can enter the stream or not. We're going to save so much time here. Look at the daily time frame. Yes, so we're looking at this area over here for it to be respected as support for price to continue moving bullish. So I think once this 15-minute candle, all right, let's take a look at this. So once this 15-minute candle starts flipping bullish here, which is it right now, it has respected the low of the previous 15-minute candle. So in essence, it's making a higher low for it to make a higher high, and then eventually continue up towards, I'd say like 134.880. That'll be a good target there. So since this is a 15-minute confirmation, the probability is going to be less. If this was a 30-minute confirmation, then there would have been a very, very high probability we're going to continue moving up. So if you're trying to take this trade, just understand that this is a lower confirmation trade for it to continue moving up. So you might want to use a lower risk on the 15-minute confirmation. Got to ask, what type of trading is this? Is it day trading, and what's the difference between swing trading and options? This is basically taking one trade and calling it a day. Day trading, you have to define what day trading is. I was talking to somebody and they were saying, yeah, day trading is about, when you sit on your chart all day and you trade all day. That's, I don't think that's, I'm not going to say my thoughts, but I think the best way to trade when you can have a very calm and collective mind is to spend maximum 3 or 4 hours on the charts. That's it. You don't need to spend any more time on the charts to be profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have funny answers for simple questions sometimes. I try to give like very direct answers to explain things to people. Wouldn't you consider 134 to 720 as resistance? 124, 720, yeah, that's a minor resistance there. So you're basically anticipating the volume in a New York session to break through this minor resistance and continue moving up. How do we get in the Zooms? Well, if you can find out, then you can get in.
Oh man.
Swing trading is actually less time on the charts than scalping, as you just enter and let it play out. Style have to monitor charts a lot more. Yep, makes sense. Compared to GJ, what is the challenge you personally experience in US 30 based characteristics time sessions?
Well, it's not necessarily anything different. It's just more of the understanding of how do things correlate. When you back test, what you have to do is you have to look at the environment that the trade took place in and the variables. And the more variables you list, the more comprehensive your data is. I think a lot of people think that back testing is just going onto a simulator and just clicking buy and sell because the 30-minute candle broke resistance or the 15-minute candle created support. That's not back testing. What you have to understand is you have to understand the story behind what you're doing. So in this case, I've back tested US 30 enough to realize that whenever there's a big upside movement or a big downside movement in terms of the pre-market data for equities, there's usually a big move that maps out or correlates with this current indices. So that's what I'm trying to play off of today. There's a 600-point deficit right now in the futures market. So my assumption is, based on all the other times I've seen these size deficits or negative pre-market data, the US 30 has moved very, very heavily. So I'm trying to capitalize on a portion of that move. Same way as when it's 300 or 400 points in the positive, US 30 moves up very, very heavy. So these are things that I've back tested over the last, say, 3 or 4 months, and then looked at previous data and pulled that and come up with this decision on, I think I should sell US 30 today, and we should drop further down based on that information. And that's why I have a sell stop sitting at 24,920 still. Just hanging around.
As you can see now, we're moving into the second half of the 15-minute candle. We still respected the low here, and I think we should continue moving bullish now. Does Norton software interfere with the Magic Keys installation? I'm not sure. I don't use Norton software. But if you have simple Windows, I think it should be enough. Is this a good practice? I always close my trade even before my TP and stop loss is not hit. Yes, I think that's a very common practice. I think that's a very common thing people do, that before price hits their take profit, they close the trade. You know, maybe they get scared or anxious. I think the best way to tackle that problem is so that's basically a psychological problem, right? And the best way to tackle that problem is to maybe close 50%, or maybe close like most of your position and let a small portion run and have stops at break even. What that's going to do is that's going to let you really see that, okay, now you're in a very, very small position. Like let's say you open like a 10-cent buy, you know, and if price is reaching your take profit and you want to close the whole thing, so instead of closing the whole 10-cent lot, you're closing 0.09 cents. Now you have 0.01 running. Now that's not going to make a huge difference in your profits or losses, but what that's going to do is that's going to really let you be in a position, and if it hits take profit, you're going to turn around and say, okay, you know what? I didn't close the whole thing. I was still in a very small position and it hit take profit. It went to where I wanted it to go. So what that's going to do is now that's going to increase your confidence in that trade or in your setup. And then once you do this over and over again, slowly what you're going to realize is that, hey man, listen, I'm letting smaller positions hit my take profit and they're happening more often than not. So maybe now this time I'm going to let my 50% run, you know, and now instead of closing 0.09, you're going to close 0.05 and you're going to let a 5-cent lot run to your take profit. You know, and after a couple of weeks, once that happens, then you're going to slowly start letting the full position run at take profits. And then now you've ultimately, you know, increased your confidence in your analysis. I mean, that's what I did. I used to let like I used to open like a 5 lot. I'd let like, you know, like a 1 lot run to my like, you know, swing trade, or I let like a 0.5 50-cent lot. And I think this year I've started letting my complete lots run into swing trades, you know, so I'm getting like 100 pip moves on 5 lots or 120 pip moves on 3 lots. And that is now making my wins get bigger and bigger.
So there's a question here, which actually is probably a highly intelligent question, which is a very simple one, is how do we take Asian session trades sometimes when we don't trade the Asian session all the time? So that's actually a very, very intelligent question. So when we see the structure of the market, say on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or Thursday, I would say Tuesday, Wednesday is probably your better idea. A lot of times what you can do is you can look left on the daily and the weekly time frames, and you'll see that there's an opportunity to fill a certain range. And knowing that, and the way the structure set up sometimes in the Asian session, you can then continue the move from the New York session into the Asian session, and then it just continues all the way through London and New York. the following day. So what you're looking for is, as an example, say for example, for simplicity's sake, this was our daily chart, right? So we see that this is our daily chart. This isn't a daily chart. This is a 15-minute chart. Our daily candle finishes bearish, right? We see that we had big rejection up here. So we know that this candle here could potentially get filled. So what you may find is the next daily candle pops up and then starts to drive down to fill that range. So knowing that this daily candle finished bearish and that we have rejection up to the upside here, you can then start taking trades when this daily candle on the Asian session starts to drop, right? So a lot of times Asia will go up a bit and then it will continue down. You would put a stop here, a sell stop, to ride that continuation all the way down, capturing the overnight move. So when you wake up in the North American session, your trade's already down here, and you can say, hey, now we're going to continue further down because the North American session is going to give that additional push. So that's how you would evaluate sometimes to take trades in the Asian session. The Asian session is a very hard session to trade because, once again, you're at the beginning of a daily candle and everybody's exiting and entering the market at the same time. You don't really have consistency. Sometimes you do, but that's only once structure has been built for the week. Trading on a Monday or a Sunday night or a Thursday on the Asian session is very difficult because you have structure either starting or coming to an end. You don't have a real trending market.
Oh, it looks like Euro JPY just ranged here throughout the pre-New York and New York Open. GJ is also at that same level now on the 30-minute chart. We're still at that level here. Hasn't really made a move, except for the fact that this 30-minute candle closed like a bullish doji candle. Still feel like it should continue up in the rest of the New York. Do you ever have a sale on market fluidity course? Nope. Market fluidity never goes on sale. See now 15-minute made a high, came down, started consolidating. So now this hour would be the hour where price is going to start continuing moving up. This hour is going to be the power hour, where you shall find that price will continue moving bullish here and retest 134.940. So it needs to stay above 134. I'd say 134.600 for it to continue up. And I'm gonna go today. We will call it a day over here. I have a dentist appointment to go to later on.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a good day.
Have a good day, everybody.
Have a good day.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, cheers.